kids to get their hair done at my mother-in-law's house. Turns out it was a longer process than she imagined, and so she ended up basically what she's doing now is she just stayed over and kind of went through that Saturday and Sunday. So I was pretty much by myself for the most part. Our oldest was here; he was here, but I was pretty
Yeah.
much by myself for those couple of days. So it
Oh
was
man.
it was definitely the experience. And so, but it was a good one. It was definitely a good one for sure. Uh, I'm gonna go into our question of the day, but before I do that, I just want to remind everybody: go ahead and if you have not subscribed, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, if you're watching this on my channel or Trey's channel, go ahead and subscribe to Talk That Tech. It's right there on the ticker below on YouTube. Go ahead and do that. We normally have a call in show, so if you feel like you want to call in and share your grievances about any particular topic, go ahead and do so. I'm going to drop the link below and go ahead if you're on YouTube, go ahead and jump on in. And so I just wanted to make sure that I let you guys know those options as well. And if you have any sort of thoughts or questions as well, go ahead and put it in the chat, y'all. Go ahead and put it in the chat. In fact, I'm going to drop some of these links in here right now because we are going for the gold in this show. And you know what's so funny? Thinking about the gold, the Olympics, man,
Hey,
the
hey,
Olympics.
hey, man, we
We-
came through, bro.
I was about to say 40 gold medals for the Olympic
Well, you
team.
know how we do.
Yeah, it was win as they say, and so definitely a good moment. Were you like on any particular sport that you were watching more than anything else?
Yeah, I always love to check out basketball
Yeah.
as just an avid basketball watcher. So if that's how I could say it. So yeah, I always check them out, and then track and field for sure. Like I love both the men and the women this year. uh Especially, it was amazing. So obviously not the long joints that that, I don't know, 1600, not those, just the short races, the main ones, 100s, 400s, 4x1, 4x4.
Yeah.
uh Even the actually, I checked out the long jumps this year and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, but man, my girl Gabby, she showed out this
Gabby
year.
Douglas.
Yeah, man, she showed out this year. Love that.
Hmm.
And then, man, I can't remember my guy's name, but he had the
Oh, Noah
whole gold
Lyles.
front.
Oh no.
No, not Noah,
You
not
talking about
Noah, not Noah.
Hill?
I
What's his
know Noah.
name?
Yes,
I'm gonna get it right now.
yeah, that brother right there, man. He like that dude. When I say I've never seen someone come back like that at the end, it
It
looked
was
like he was about to die.
Quincy Hall. There we
Okay,
go, Quincy
yeah,
Hall.
Quincy, yeah, Quincy, my guy Quincy, man, it looked like he was about to die coming around that corner. And man, he reached down deep inside and got that thing done, dude. And so that was funny I mean, in that race, obviously, but I just liked him ever since I seen that. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
that guy got the juice, man.
my wife and
But
I
I'll
would.
tell you. Oh, go
Sorry, go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you first. I can remember what I'm gonna
Well,
say.
I was about to switch, so go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna laugh and say that my wife and I would talk about the gold teeth and everything. I was like, man, this boy's from the
Yeah,
South.
yeah.
This boy, he's
Oh,
from
easily, easily,
Arlington, Virginia. Uh, uh, and,
easily.
and I think he's actually was born in Kansas City, Missouri. But
That makes sense right there.
yeah, he
So
just
he went
like
back to his roots, man. He went back to his roots.
he came down with everything. Just
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, that was hilarious. But man, I'll say this: something that surprised me. I was watching. I don't know if anybody else saw this. I got caught up in the break dance, the break dancing, um, Olympics.
oh,
First of all, I think it was the first year that they've done it, and it
yeah,
was just so funny to see. I don't know, it was women's, but it was just so funny to see it. But there were a few, like, they cold blooded. Okay,
yeah,
Lithuania, this chick
yeah.
Lithuania,
With her
she
do
had the
rag
do rag
on,
on, dude, do rag on and everything, and then I think it was China or Japan, one of those, but.
yeah.
Uh, Yo, that was hilarious to me. But cold blooded. I actually got caught up watching that. So that was interesting. Um, yeah, it was a lot, bro. I was going through a lot of them, man. You know, equestrian, seeing the horses do
Mhm.
their thing. It was crazy.
It was crazy. There was a lot of moments, man. We actually talked about one a couple weeks ago where somebody who basically quit her job in venture capitalist as a venture
Yeah,
capitalist went over uh, to be a cyclist, and the person that she filled in for couldn't make it right, so she did. She got the gold in that race and won by a margin.
man, that's
There's
crazy,
so many stories. The Quincy Hall definitely is one. I was just thinking on him run down everything he got.
dude.
Man, that was heart. That was heart right
Every
there.
last drop.
Simone Biles showed out like always. And I
Yeah,
love the fact that it was her and another American. I can't forgive me. I can't remember everybody's name. So if y'all know the names in the comment section, put it down below. But it was another American where Brazil, I believe they won and they just kind of showed the respect, and that was awesome to see. Track and field,
yeah,
we killed this year. Like it was amazing to see how many track and field. I didn't even know we had that many people running for
man.
hurdles and
It
everything. Like
did our
skill
thing.
just killed. But man, I think for me personally, the highlight, because I am a basketball lover as well, was the last game between France and the USA. And Steph Curry just said, "Listen, this is my only and probably last time here. Let me cook." And he just took over at the last couple of minutes there.
Last two games for Chef Curry was amazing, man.
Amazing. Let me tell you
The
this right
game
now.
before that, did you see the game before that,
Yeah, that was good too. With Serbia, they came back, but I was
dude?
like, man, they're playing around too much in regards to that one. They took so much time just to get it together. I was like, listen,
Yeah,
y'all.
I'm just talking about Chef Curry, man.
Yes,
His threes kept them like in eyes distance. Like, you know, like every time it seemed like they were about to get just he
yeah,
would hit a three, and that just got him back in the game enough to get it done. So yes, last two games for Chef Curry was, he going down in the books for that one.
yeah. And listen, y'all, we're about to get into the topics at hand, but we got one more question for you before we get through, which is the icebreaker. It's in regards to what LeBron was asked. LeBron was asked, okay, which there's the dream team, there's the dream team, the dream team, the
Redeem.
redeem team, and what is the name of this particular team? And he basically said this is the Avenge team, the Avengers, right? And so I wanted to ask everybody here, where do you rank if you were watching U.S. basketball? I know we have some basketball fans here. Where do you rank the Avenger USA basketball team all time? And then we're gonna get into the topics right there. I think this definitely ranks high. I would put this right below the Dream Team, honestly,
Yeah. Yep.
because the Dream Team didn't really have much competition. Let's just be honest.
No,
This
they didn't.
they didn't, but this team had a lot of competition. In fact, the fact that Canada didn't even make it was a huge upset in a lot of cases. But they
Hmm.
did win, and they did win it where you have the Noah Eagle and Dwayne Wade. Noah Eagle's calling and saying, LeBron to Steph, Steph to KD, swoosh. Like that. Just thinking about that moment and thinking about the opportunity to see our best of our generation come together on one team and really do it. Like it's like, man, I want to see this in the All-Star game where it's like the world versus USA.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's like this would be so dope. But yeah, man, that's to me, I would rank them second to the Dream Team, honestly.
And here's the thing. I'll go ahead and do the same thing because I don't want to hear the haters. So I'll only put them under the dream team because the dream team was the first, like they were the first ones to come in as NBA players and do that, right? Like,
Hmm.
before them it was college. So I'll
Yeah,
go ahead and give them that because of that. But when you talk about like competition, bro, it
yeah.
just really wasn't there during that time. Now everybody is following the NBA. Everybody is doing what the NBA does, and
Hmm.
so like competition is through the roof. I mean, come on now, like
Yeah,
South Sudan was getting buckets, and this is like one of their first times here.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
because what? I mean, that didn't mean anything because they've been playing behind the scenes. Obviously, Lou Dang got them boys working. So, it, you know,
Mm,
it's the competition now is just through the roof, and so, and I know it's only going to get better and better over the years. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch as LeBron, Steph, KD, as these guys bow out. It'll be interesting to watch as these other countries continue to get better.
yeah. It's definitely
So
gonna
I'll
be one
put
of
them
those
right
things.
under.
Yeah, so what's gonna happen next year? If this is probably the last one, we don't know what's gonna happen next year. It's gonna be Devin Booker, it's gonna be Jason Tatum, a few others. We don't know what's gonna happen. So that's gonna be a very interesting conversation. Listen, y'all, we're gonna dive into the topics at hand. So definitely stay with us. Let us know in the comment section where you're tuning in from as well. I think we got some new people on the show, so definitely want to see
Hey,
that if we can. Like, where is everybody tuning in from? Oh
yeah,
yeah,
let us know.
I got a few others. I got chosen. I got my brother, basketball coach extraordinaire, on the line on Instagram.
Hey,
Appreciate you, man, for stopping by. I should have. It'd be great to have him talk about this because this is what he does 24/7 basketball. So yeah, definitely. We got Rico as well on IG. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are on YouTube or LinkedIn, let us know in the comment section below, and I'll try to bring you up as well, and let you know that, man. But yeah, so this conversation, this topic that we're talking about right now, is something that we kind of both were familiar with, but we didn't know that it actually happened, and it's happening. It's done. They're gonna appeal it, but the truth is that Google loses or lost the lawsuit, right?
it's over.
So
It's
it's
over.
over. So I'm gonna let you talk
Uh,
about that a little bit.
yeah, yeah. The saga is over, man. You know, it is what it is. But I'll what is that? I'll say some things that Apple had to say as well. I forgot, but Apple has some things to say about it. But yes, Google loses the lawsuit. Basically, it's a significant antitrust lawsuit in the United States.
Hmm.
A federal judge, he ruled that the company abused its monopoly power to maintain dominance in the search engine and online advertising markets. So
Ooh.
the judge, or sorry, it came from the U.S. District Judge Mata, Amit Mata,
Yeah.
who he found that like I said, that Google, they maintain its monopoly by basically paying companies like Apple and Mozilla Firefox to make its search engine the default choice on their devices and web browsers. And so
Hmm.
basically, what they had to say is after having carefully considered and weighed the witness testimony and evidence, the court reaches the following conclusion: Google is a monopolist.
Ooh.
And it has acted as one to maintain its monopoly. That's what they had to say there last week, and so they said it violates Section 2 of the Sherman Act. And so, really, this practice, along with collecting consumer data to cement its dominance, was deemed a violation of the Sherman Act, y'all. And what they had to say, so they said that this case actually is reminiscent of the antitrust action against Microsoft back in the 1990s that saw
Hmm.
some significant legal battles as well, and eventually settlements. Um, but yeah, it's one of those things, man. Uh, Apple, they had something to say about it as well. They were saying, like, uh, if I can pull it up, I'll read it. But they said Google basically it was the best, and they don't
Hmm.
care whether they had to pay or not. They probably still would have Google as the default browser. And one of those things is, yeah, that's just the bottom line. Like, I know me personally, no matter what it is, I'm switching it to the Google browser, like as default.
Automatically.
And I'm going in the settings, and I'm switching it, and it is what it is. And so, it's one of those things where, okay, yeah, I could see where you're thinking, it's a monopoly, but they got one of the best products. So,
Hmm.
and and but like I said, as you go, Joseph, I'll try and pull up what Apple actually had to say about it as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, and I'm I'm gonna go to the comment section because it's so true. Google lost on paper, but won in real life. That's what Tech Coach Ralph said.
Yeah,
What up, Tech
buddy.
Coach Ralph? What up, Mitch? You got the family in the building. We got Well Chick in the building. Man.
Hey,
Hey, she said, "Morning. I made another live." Yes, you did.
hey,
A resident millionaire. So made another live. Appreciate that. I
yes,
definitely
indeed.
appreciate that. But listen, this is crazy because I'm not gonna lie. Just to kind of go what you were talking about there, if I was on Microsoft, like a Microsoft computer PC, and I happen to have Bing pop up, I'm gonna be like, oh, this is cute. Go to Google and replace that right away. If I'm on Safari, making sure that I, right away, like back in the day was Yahoo. I was rocking with them for a little bit. Same thing. I would go to Google, make that the default search engine. So the question is, was it just that they had a monopoly on it, or they just, like you said, had a superior product that everybody was like, "Yo, Google is it?" They literally became synonymous with searching online, search engine. You don't
Yes.
say, "I'm going to go to a search engine or to find what I need to find." You say, "I'm going to go Google it." Like that's like I'm from the Caribbean, right? My family's from Guyana. They don't say toothpaste, they say Colgate. They say like
Yeah.
Colgate for
Yeah.
everything. So for them,
Yeah.
Colgate is synonymous with toothpaste, right? And my brother could
That's
attest to
how you
that as
know you
well.
got it. That's
That's
how
how
you
you
know you got
know
the
you
juice.
got it. And so I
You know.
think I think what it is I understand what they're saying. They say, man, you positioned yourself to become a monopoly, but it really was that they had a superior product and it became synonymous with our lives. And so I think they should do. I think they definitely should appeal it. And I would love to hear everybody's comments. We got Darcel in the building. What up, Darcel? Appreciate that for sure. Mitch is in the building. Mitch, I would definitely love to hear your thoughts about this because your boys at Apple are actually trying to keep this lawsuit from not happening as well. So, like, what are your thoughts? Because to me, honestly, this is what I feel. I feel honestly like anytime I had opportunity to choose the other search engines, I always come back to Google. Now things are changing a little bit now with ChatGPT, where it's like, okay, Google, you can do this. You might have a little bit of AI in you, but I need that ChatGPT sauce. I just need
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so what are they going to do when ChatGPT comes synonymous with searching? Because right now it's kind of coming close to that. It's like
It's
when it
pretty
comes to
close.
when it comes to assistance and basically rewrite and just using AI in regards to just getting things done, ChatGPT is kind of getting there. Google still has its place, but ChatGPT is really kind of finding its place. There's other things as well. What are they going to say about those AI tools? That's my question. But I'm gonna pass it back. Mitch is not going to play. Mitch is Apple, who is who I thought they were. They're trash for supporting a monopoly, according to Mitch. But
yo,
yes,
yo. Yeah, bro. Just to put this thing into perspective, I couldn't find it. I don't know. Maybe I read it in another article and I just can't find it. But just put in perspective, y'all, to maintain their dominance and stay on top as the default browser, Google was paying over 20 plus $billion in multiple
Wow.
years to be the default browser in these different spaces. So, they weren't playing games when it came to that. You know what I mean?
mm.
So they
And
were
right.
playing. They weren't playing games.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But we do have a guest in the building. He decided to use the
Hey,
link and drop on. And we got Tech Coach Ralph. What up, sir?
hey,
So glad you stopped by to let us know your
what's going
thoughts.
on?
What's going on, fellas? Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
And Mitch, I guess. So,
Trace.
I had actually was looking into this over the weekend on one of the
Yeah.
shows we were breaking it down. And we were watching the actual interview. I think it was a CNBC or something like that with
Yeah.
the attorney who won for the DOJ. And the host of the show was asking him, was kind of pressuring him on these questions, like the same things that you guys are asking, like, oh, is it a superior, is it just a superior product, what makes it monopoly and stuff like that. And the host says, yeah, but this just means that Google doesn't have to pay is it billion they were paying, like 20
It,
billion, like, isn't that a win
billions.
for
Yeah.
Google? And the guy, the attorney literally says, like, yeah, but Google lost on paper. I'm like, that's the goal. Like,
No, sir. Like they they won. They won twice. Like I now just don't
exactly.
have. I can spend this money somewhere else. That's literally all it means.
Every like
Because they're
every
still gonna be on there.
every time I get a new computer, right?
Yep.
If it's a Windows computer, I use Microsoft Edge to go and download Google Chrome and then go from there. If it's a Mac, I use Safari to download Google Chrome and I go from there.
Yes. Like,
even,
bro,
even when it's the default browser, I still type in google.com sometimes just out of like just habit, you know?
yes. Like it's
So
just it's the default that I need to see even when I'm searching. I know what you mean. Like if they have it on something else, let me go into Google real quick. I don't care what this is. I'm going to Google first, then I'm gonna put in my search.
see, my thing is because, and what I was saying the other day is I was recalling all the different search engines that
Mitch is doing shades. He's like, listen.
I was
He ain't
recalling
having it.
all the different search engines that I used before Google came out. So
Mm,
how like when you first got onto the internet, but there was Excite back then. There
okay.
was I think Yahoo might have bought Excite. Yahoo used to be it at one point,
It was.
It was. Yeah, it definitely was.
and there was like MSN. That
Yes.
you remember MSN?
I
Yeah.
remember
And
Bing,
Yeah.
MSN.
so like, but even before Bing, there was like MSN. Like before Google, there was MSN as
Yeah.
as a search engine, right? Like that came default on Windows computers. So my thing is like, all right, if just build a better product.
That's it.
And the same thing with like if you think back to the CrowdStrike thing, right? When they said, "Oh, is like who are you going to force not to use Google? Are you going to say, all right, Apple now you can't use Google as your default search engine. You have to use Bing or DuckDuckGo or whatever, or you have to create your own.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so that's why I'm like, the biggest problem is in like, especially with the whole legal system and with the government and stuff like that. They're talking about things that they don't know or understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have a judge who's like, oh yeah, it's a monopoly because of this. Wow, it could just be well, um, make a better me, you know.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, and here's the thing. I'll be if they did some mess like that, bro, I might leave. I might leave Apple. Mitch, you're gonna have to let me know what the best
PC.
Android phone is. Yeah. No, 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 no. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not on the laptop side.
Now
Okay.
you talking crazy.
Not going that far, but my phone is the one out the window.
Yeah, yeah, my phone. I'll switch the phone up. I'm still just I'll search Google, or I might switch to Chat GPT. Who knows? Switch to one of those joints. But yeah, that's ultimately they just saving money, man. They're just saving money.
And nowadays with Google, they're putting the best of both worlds, where your first result is going to be like an AI response, and then you can still
Yeah,
have the results after it too. So
Yeah.
and I use that like crazy, like because
Yep.
it's compiling multiple articles together and stuff to get the answer. So I'll use that, and I might not even reach the regular search results on a lot of my stuff now. So
Facts.
before
yeah,
let me ask one more question, right? What if
hmm
you guys were creating something that's related to search, right? And it was popping, people would love it and things like that. And now Google reaches out to you and says, "Hey, we really like this. We want to buy it from you for a bunch of money, right? Like money that you've never
hmm
seen before in your life."
like they
And now
always.
I'm about to make this deal, and then you have a knock on your door, and it's like, "Yeah, what's up?" It's like, sorry, you cannot take these billions from Google because that's going to make them, a monopoly. It's like, but I want to sell it to Google. Like, sorry, you can't do it. Well, now, let's say Microsoft and Bing comes to approach you, but are they going to give you the same amount of money that Google was going to give you just because they know you can't sell it to Google now?
Exactly. Nope.
And
Nah.
now, like, let's say they cut it in half, or you have to keep it for yourself, where it's like they get involved, they get in the way of innovation. Google can take it and put the resources of their developers on it, and they can even keep you on
Exactly.
board. Like, it's so many different things that can happen, but they get in the way, and they like it's crazy.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this.
we've seen that happen.
Yeah,
We've
because I'm
seen that
thinking in my
happen.
head, what is a monopoly, right? A monopoly is when you like corner the whole thing. There's no competition out there because you just kind of got rid of them. You can still use Bing. You can still use Yahoo. People just choose not to.
They're still out there.
They're still out there. I was looking at the list of how many, because you made me think about this. Like Ask Jeeves. Remember Ask Jeeves? I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's
There
funny.
was AOL. I forgot AOL used to be search. I honestly forgot about that. but there were so many that came and went, and Google just stood the test of time, and it
others
can't
still exist
dog
too.
pile.
There's others that still exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
So
got to pay to play, man.
yeah.
You got to pay to play, and obviously they be paying.
Oh, Mitch had
And
a question here too. This is for you, Ralph, as well. Can Google create another company and buy it?
I don't know what Mitch is talking
Mm,
about.
I think
I don't
think
know.
I kind of get it. Like I mean,
I
like
get it. I don't know.
yeah, I
They
think
do it all the time though. They buy up companies. You know, maybe they get shelved, maybe they get used. Who knows?
Alphabet.
Like you said, they can keep the CEOs on board and all that kind of stuff. They do that stuff all the time. We just don't know most of them, right?
But they're going after Apple too, though. Remember, like I think it was a few weeks ago we were talking about them talking about Apple. This.
Yeah, they all do it.
Think about this too, real quick. What's the market share? Because on a what's the default browser on a Windows computer?
I thought it was
Microsoft.
Bing.
No, the browser itself is Microsoft Edge.
Oh, Edge, yeah.
Oh
And
wow.
the default search engine is going to be Bing.
Yeah.
What's the market share of Mac Mac OS computers versus Windows computers?
I think that's a good question.
It's about 15 to 20% of Mac OS computers out there versus about 70% of Windows computers out there.
Sheesh.
That makes
So
sense.
that means 70% of the market share for default browsers
is Bing.
Bing.
That's
So,
what's keeping them alive.
but how is it a monopoly if 70% of the market share default browser is Bing? Now, if you use Microsoft Edge to download Google Chrome, that's a different story. But what does it come with by default? To me, the concept, like they just help Google save 20. You know what? I'm trying to think that Google purposely lost its lawsuit now. Now that I think about
it, somebody, yeah, bro, somebody in the,
you know, when they $20 billion, so because Apple's still gonna use it, Mozilla's still gonna use it, and I get to save $20 billion in the process. Thank you, thank you. You know what? Yeah. You can have that victory on paper.
This is the best tax cut I got. So
look, they were all in there, and what is it, deliberation or whatever it is, when they're sitting in there with all the lawyers, and somebody was like, "Hold on, wait a minute.
Let's think about this.
If we lose, we still win. If we
Judge,
lose, we still win."
Anyways, fellas, I'm getting out of here. Thank you for having me.
Yo, appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, man. That was good. That was dope. So glad to have you on as well, man. Thank you so much. But I think the same thing. Like somebody's like, "Hey, Judge, can we have a recess?" They started talking among themselves and said, "Listen, we need to think about this a little bit more." That's a great point. That's a great point. That's why we have y'all call in, because of all the stuff that you can share. So good.
And before we get off, I found it. So I ended up finding it, right? So I knew I saw a quote. I saw a quote from somebody from Apple. So it said, this was in September of last year, right? It says, from the Apple Senior VP of Services, Eddie Q. He said when he was asked to testify in September, Q told the court, "We make Google be the default search engine because we've always thought it was the best." End quote. Like, and so, it's one of those things, like, they're not, like, if it wasn't good, even though they could be thrown, now I don't know, it might be some company, they're like, "Look, that's $20 billion, we got to take this even if it's trash." But Apple, I'm pretty sure they would not do that if the product wasn't good, so anyways, the Attorney General Merrick Garland, he said that this victory against Google is a historic win for the American people. No company, no matter how large or influential, is above the law. And again, as we just said, I still think they won. Google still won.
Terry said, "Wow." Terry said, "Wow."
Google still won.
Oh man, what a day to be alive. Tech Coach Rouse said, "Why would you pay $20 billion for something your customers don't like?"
That's what I'm saying.
Like the simple logic.
Customers like it.
Hey, the same people that ask how the internet works. you know, the same people that ask how the internet works. So,
that is true. This is
uh,
true.
one more comment before we go on to the next. But Mitch said most people say go to Google, look it up. They don't say go to Edge, Bing, Yahoo. Exactly. This is what I'm
Never.
talking about. And no shade on y'all. We just say the same thing, man. So if you guys improve the product, people will look at it. But right now, Google is the one that's doing their thing. So the DOJ, Tekos Rouse says that the Department of Justice has some questionable practices. Oh, that's a segment by itself. That's a segment by itself. But I
No,
won't be
you ain't
lying.
lying.
I ain't gonna lie and say that we can't talk about it. We definitely will. We have another segment in itself, the bulletin board today, which is jam packed. Listen, y'all, if y'all haven't heard about it, go ahead and go to the bulletin board, which is at blacktechglobal.com, your premier source for tech events that are coming up in your area, specifically ones geared to people like ourselves who may not have opportunities in the past to go to events where they see representation. This right here is what you're gonna see. It's a lot. This week is crazy. So gear up. We're gonna go through a lot of different events. Are you? We'll talk offline, but I don't know if you're still going to the one that we were talking about earlier. But yeah, we'll
Let's
talk about
talk
that
offline
offline.
because I gotta know.
Yeah.
I gotta know which one you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about it
Yeah.
today. There's a long
Okay.
list, y'all. Long list, but this
Ooh.
is what I want y'all to make sure that you are aware of because this is actually gonna be good. We got an event that's coming actually this 14th. This Wednesday. I'm actually thinking about myself. It's in Queens, so it's not too far from me. It is Cigars and Conversations here in New York. It's going to be hosted by Black Men in Tech, and this event is going to be happening. In fact, let me see if I can switch this off for now. But yes, I'll keep it on like this. Wednesday, this is the 14th from 8 to 11 p.m. This is happening in Queens, New York. Event lasts about 3 hours, but this is Black Men in Tech. And it's basically about conversation that they're going to have around the tech industry. Good from my sense, the good brothers, they definitely have been helping a lot of people within the industry break in and
For
all
sure.
a lot of different things going on with them. So definitely check out that Cigars and Conversations if you are in the space. Now we got another one that's coming up, and that's free, by the way. That one that I just referred to. We have this other event that is happening as well. This is in Washington, D.C., Black Tech Thursdays. This is coming up. It's free. If you are in Washington area, you want to check this out for yourself. This is going to be an event where you could kind of gather together. It's a networking event, so check that out. Again, I know there's a lot, so I'm going quick with this one. I do also have SquadCon. SquadCon, it's a 2-day event. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada, 150 for general admission, but there's a lot going on with this particular event, as you can see about the sections, the leadership, the training, events itself. So definitely check out the website for more if you are in the Las Vegas area. Then we have the meetup with Afrotech. Listen, y'all, if y'all in Seattle, you would definitely want to join this one. I know from conversations that one time they had in Seattle, and it was sponsored by Starbucks. The CEO of Starbucks decided to just walk on through. So you never know who you're going to meet at these particular events. So definitely check that out for yourself. There's only a few tickets left at $10. So definitely check that out if you are in the Seattle area. Then we got no other than the Georgia Tech Alum Association hosting a summer social. So if you are in Atlanta and you want to check this out, this actually be done by the National Society of Black Engineers, NSBE. So check that out if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, and you want to be a part of this particular event. This event is about $0, so you could do it if you're going to be there on the 15th. Check out the website for more. And then the last one I'm going to show here, but I'm going to read a list of the other ones, is BaddyCon. BaddyCon is happening right now, August 15th to the 18th. And listen, ladies, especially for the ladies, men are invited too for this one, but they come dolled out. Listen, y'all, if y'all haven't been to BaddyCon, it's like going to the gala. You want to come dressed to impress. And there's a lot of events that they're going to have, panel, keynotes. We got friends that are going to be speaking on that. We got Ayana there as well, a few others that will be speaking. So definitely, if you want to check out this event is honestly going to be taking over New York City this particular week. And this is just from the BaddyCon they had last year, I believe. And so definitely, if it's something that you're interested in, you want to be checking that out for yourself. Tickets they have a 2-day ticket pass, $229 for that. There's other sort of passes as well, so you want to check that out. And right before we go, like I said, there's a lot of things happening this weekend. So I actually got to read it from a list because I got to just hit them and go because it's so much different things. August 15th, Baddies in Tech and Techsgiving are partnering up to do a Lift As You Climb event in New York. $0 for that. Baddies in Tech, Baddies and Zaddies after party. That's men and women. They have that in New York City for $25 on August 16th. August 17th is Every Stylish Girl Sip and Slay. That's happening. That's $200. That's happening August 17th in New York. New York is blazing right now. Baddies and Tech serve tipsy brunch party, $92 in New York City. Listen, y'all, if y'all not in New York, y'all gotta come to New York. That's all I'm trying to say right now. Transform the
What
Hustle,
it sound
Creator
like.
Lab. Yeah, this week is bananas. Transform the Hustle. That's $0 here in New York, August 17th. August 17th, Camille Smith and STEM Social are going to be in the building as well, doing Black People in STEM Mixer, New York City, $35 for that one. August, and there's the last one I'm going to say, August 17th, Educational Communities Worldwide Gala. They're hosting an event August 17th for $70. Go to blacktechglobal.com for more so that way you can keep abreast on everything that's going on because this week it is blazing hip hop and R&B in the tech streets here in New York City. So you definitely want to check that out. And I am done. That was a lot. That was a lot.
Mm.
That was a lot. But it was well worth it. It was well worth
Yeah,
it.
it was some good stuff in there, man. That's for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not all our stories could be as good about about that. We have to talk about some terrible things that happened too, which unfortunately are these Intel fraud allegations. And I'm gonna pass it to you to talk a little bit about that before we go on.
Yep, Intel facing fraud allegations, actually facing a class action lawsuit filed by who? Its own shareholders. Okay, the own shareholders are like, yo, hold up, hold the presses. Basically, they're alleging that the company engaged in securities fraud by concealing critical issues that led to a weak second quarter results. So obviously, they looking into it like, yo, we didn't get the returns we looking for. Let's see what's happening. Oh, hold on. Okay. The lawsuit claims that Intel misled investors about its business outlook and manufacturing capabilities. All right, particularly in its foundry business, which manufactures chips on contracts for other companies. So good old white labeling, okay, for these other companies. But basically, these misrepresentations are said to have inflated the stock price because they're making money. They're making changes to what they putting in off of what they saying, and they can't do it. And so this misled investors until the financial difficulties were revealed. So basically, this financial fallout from these, basically what they found was huge. Intel, they reported a net loss of $1.61 billion for the second quarter, leading to 26% drop in the stock price on August 2nd. Y'all remember us talking about this?
Yeah.
Well, this is the why. This is the why behind it, all right? So the company, they also announced plans to cut its workforce by 15% and suspend its dividend starting in the fourth quarter of 2024 as a part of restructuring to save about $10 million in 2025.
Yeah, 10 billion.
10 B with a B. Okay.
That's a lot.
So these developments have raised concerns about Intel's long-term viability and have highlighted broader issues to corporate governance and transparency in the tech industry. So y'all, that's one of those things. Now the same shareholders are they're like, yo, I'm here for my dividends. Obviously, they want the growth, but if you got some dividends coming in, and now you're about to lose that. So it's not looking too good. Not looking too good for Intel these days out here in these streets.
Man, and I'm gonna go to the comment section for this one before I talk because Mitch said, "This is shake my head. This is why they're doing layoffs." And
this is exactly why.
Exactly why. And then also, Tech Coach Ralph said how Intel inflated the stock price when my share has been stagnant for years. So, so I
They ain't
mean,
been
man,
doing nothing. Yeah, yeah.
uh no,
That's the
this
back end.
yeah, and definitely, y'all, let us know what your thoughts are in the build in the comment section below. Feel free to call in the show if you want to. But that's one of the things I realize is a challenge here is man, misleading investors about his business outlook. Um, that that's sad because those are one of those Intel's one of those companies that you think of the name, you're like, oh yeah, this is da 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 da.
Hmm.
Was this a mixed calculation? Was this a misstep? Was it really trying to mislead investors? I don't know,
Yes.
but yeah, but the lawsuit came and they filed that class action lawsuit. So we'll see what happens with that, and maybe that's something we keep you guys posted with down the road. Mitch says, how many other companies are actually doing this? And that's one of the things I thought too. Like, like they can't be alone. You know, um,
Mm.
and this is a
It's
little
one
bit
of those
off.
things.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
little off topic, but it made me think about
Yeah.
how the fact that a lot of companies out of the blue are saying that they can do AI all of a sudden. This is one of the things that made me think about it. Like when you were talking, I was like, huh. So would it? I mean, this is a little bit a stretch, right? But would it include the
Hmm.
companies that are saying like out of nowhere, overnight, they're like, yeah, we're an AI company now, versus companies like
Yeah.
mine, who's been doing it for almost a decade. And actually, you know what it is to be one of the first ones to like kind of talk about something, and people laugh at you, and people like, that's not a big deal. And then now you're like, oh wait, what are we talking about again? I'm sorry. And you're like,
Yeah.
come on, let's talk now.
The
But
difference between sight and vision. The
say that
you
that's a
yeah.
sight and
Yeah, it
vision.
was. That was the
Yes,
difference between sight and vision. You look at, I'm trying to tell you about what's coming, but because you can't see it,
yeah,
you ain't messing with it. You laughing me out the bank, laughing me out your company.
yeah,
Now everybody's talking about it. Now you want to come back. Now they hot. They all on me.
yes.
I had the
My
vision. Actually, guess
Giants.
what? Guess what? The prices went up. Now you, the prices went up. So yeah,
Yeah. So
it's tough.
how many of the companies, just to go back to that point that Mitch made, how many of the companies are misleading their investors and even their consumers to say, hey, we could do X, Y, and Z? Because then again, it was about manufacturing capabilities. And even though it was particularly about the foundry business, still, like how many other companies have done this in other areas, just to kind of keep afloat in regards to what the competition is doing. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Mitch. Like in this area, um, you know that there definitely some things to look at right there. Mitch said everyone speeds, but if you get caught, you in trouble. Yeah, everybody speeds,
Mm,
it'll be five of y'all in the same lane, but if the cop
yeah,
pulls you over, you get in the ticket. You're like, what about
yeah.
them? Like, I didn't catch them. I caught you.
Bro, it's one of those. If you the last one, when you talk about speeding, if you in last place, you don't want getting caught. So
Yep.
now the other side of that is, they probably, when you look at companies like Nvidia, right, killing
Hmm.
the game, been killing the game. You're trying to do things to keep up, and yeah, it just is what it is.
Yeah. Struggle security. What up? What up? So glad to have you in the
Hey, what's
building.
happening?
Appreciate you for stopping by
Yes,
for
indeed.
sure.
Yes,
Appreciate you.
indeed.
I got a few other people. I had a Chris on IG. Thank you for stopping by. So appreciate you. We got what up? What up, sis? We got sis. She joined up there on IG. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Definitely appreciate it. This is a story that's going to be unfolding. So we're definitely going to be talking about this a bit more as we continue having this show. Thank you so much for rocking with us. And if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. If you are subscribed to our channels, go ahead and subscribe to Talk That Tech. It's right there below on the ticker. That's everything Talk That Tech. In fact, I might start. I might just start keeping everything there, so y'all can just go back there instead of looking at my page. But yeah, Talk That Tech. If you want to find out more, definitely check that out for yourselves. I think you're going to definitely appreciate just having that there, that access to that. But what I want to just say right now is in regards to life, we basically have people in various spheres of influence in our lives. And so I wanted to just kind of ask you a question. Who would you say is your personal board of advisors? Do you have a personal advisory board? But because that's something that I was thinking about after having a conversation with my guest recently on my show, Techniques Tips, where basically he just talked about how he has not necessarily a personal board, but mentors, right? And this got me back to the conversation that we had a while ago. And that mentorship piece, we talked about that in the past. In fact, we broke it down to three. We talked about mentors, sponsors, and champions. And just to quickly recap on that, when it comes to mentors, there's a people that I have some notes here. Someone look at them. It says a mentor is someone who's has a considerable experience in your field and acts as a trusted advisor. Then the sponsor is someone who uses their influence to advocate for you, helping you gain visibility and access to new opportunities. And then a champion is kind of something in the middle where they are similar to sponsors, but they take more of a personal stake in your success. So like champion is kind of like a mentor. They're like, hey, you keep going, you could do it, you could do it. A mentor kind of like is walking alongside you a bit more, and the sponsor's like ahead of you, opening doors or trying to give you access into new opportunities. So we talked about that in the past. But before I do that, before we move on to the next topic, I want to let Struggle Securities do it to say. I think Intel just did layoffs recently. Yes, we talked about that. True.
Oh yeah,
Nvidia
yeah.
is
You might
applying
have missed
pressure.
it.
Yeah, Nvidia is applying
Yeah,
pressure.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah, we talked about it, bro. I think maybe right before you got in, but yeah,
Mhm.
and Intel they basically were planning on cutting 15%
Mm.
um of their workforce. You
Yeah.
know, going into they cut their dividends for the
Mm.
fourth quarter of 2024, so that they can try and save about $10 billion in 2025. So
25.
yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah, they
but thank you so
definitely
much
did
for
that
sharing that. Because in the video pressure, we talked about that too. Yeah, so it's getting problems up there. But thank you so much for sharing that. But yeah, no worries, Struggle Security. Thank you so much though, for real. We love when people have it joining in the conversation. We love that.
for sure.
And so going back to the personal advisory board, I said after having that conversation on Saturday with him, Nigel
Hmm.
Hammond, by the way, go check out that episode if you can. But after having that conversation, I was thinking about the subject about having a personal board of advisors or personal advisory board. Um, and in fact, what I wanted to just kind of talk about is what does that look like, right? What does that personal board of advisors look like? And so the way that I, doing some research, I found out that like there's about, I would say, 7 roles that you could have for your personal board of advisors. Really, it's 6, but the seventh one is something that I think is impactful for us to do. And the first one, if you want to take notes, is having a mentor, right? We talked about this just now. We broke down mentor, sponsor, and champion. And so a mentor, again, offers basically general perspective on life and career. And I found a couple of mentors in the tech sales industry that are doing that in a way. They provide guidance based on their experience, and they should be accomplished, trustworthy, and someone whose behavior you want to emulate. In fact, hey, what up, APNs? Good to see you, man. Uh, if you want to go ahead and use a comment section for your notes, that's perfect because that way you can look back at it. But first one is mentor, right? You want to have a mentor in your corner, and this one's gonna be the second one's for Tech Coach Ralph, who is a career coach. You want to have a career coach. So this mentor, right? This is mentors about general like life and career, but then you have a career coach. This person helps you create a strategic career plan, sets goals, and holds you accountable. They should have a strong network and be able to provide honest feedback. So you have a mentor, then you have a career coach. So they're different, right? Again, mentor, general life, they may touch on your career, but career coaches focus on seeing you exceed strategically in your career. Then you have number 3 is a spiritual or therapist advisor. This could be a counselor that you have, a pastor, someone that's in your corner that on a moral and almost in a spiritual standpoint, they are supporting you and guiding you. They help maintain your emotional balance and provide wisdom during challenging times. And trust me, we need that. With everything going on in the economy, with everything going on in the world, you definitely need somebody there that can walk alongside you. 4 is money advisor. This is a big one. A financial advisor helps you to manage your finances, plan for retirement, and make informed financial decisions. And then we have your local role model, number 5, an expert in your industry or craft from your local area who can provide insight, guidance based on their own successful path. So This one to me is interesting because it's kind of like something that you kind of like. This is like the career coach role, but it's basically somebody that does have that expertise, again, in what you do and who can provide insight, but they're not necessarily the one walking alongside you when it comes to your career. Then the last one that I would consider on the board is they said national virtual influencer, a person of influence who can follow online for inspiration and advice, especially when facing challenges. So this might be your author from a book that you read, who's like, oh, for example, I got John C. Maxwell book right here, 101 Leadership. That could be considered as your virtual influencer. So you have an author or somebody that you follow that can do that. Now, the last one they said, but it's not really on your board, but you could put them on their board, is basically a protege, a younger advisor who provides fresh perspective and keeps you current with new trends and ideas. So, like, if you have somebody who's like, let's say, because I'm a little bit older, I'm a little bit over 30, but if you have somebody that's like, let's say, early 20s, and they kind of have a familiar, like they have a grip on like what Gen Z is going on and stuff like that, and you're like, hey, I need to get some insight on that. You might want to bring them on board, protege, somebody that you're pouring into as well. So that's why I was saying they may be on your board, they may not be, but it's any relationship should be mutually beneficial. This is a person that you're pouring into, but they're also pouring back to you by giving you insight on the current trends and topics. But I wanted to ask y'all, what are your thoughts on this? And also, I wanted to ask you, which role do you feel like you need to establish in your life? Like, which board of advisory role do you think you need to establish in your life?
That was good stuff, man. That was good stuff.
Thank you, man. I would say for me, there's been different areas of my life where I feel like I needed one or two of these, maybe 3, 4, 5. Right? Mentor for sure, but that career coach thing, I think if I was younger, if I was able to really have that, I probably would have made different decisions. I'm just gonna be honest. I would have probably made different decisions if I had that earlier, as well as a spiritual advisor. And one thing they kind of didn't say, but I'm gonna kind of mix this in with mentor, somebody that, let's say, especially for married men, somebody that's married that has gone through it before, that can basically kind of say, hey, this is what being a man looks like, right? We probably have that in our family, grandpas and things of that nature, or fathers as well, and uncles that may have somewhat shown us that, but not everybody has that. And I think that sometimes that's what I believe a lot of people are missing, is like, hey, I want that career coach, but do you have that coach that can teach you how to be a better man? And that foundation could lead to you being better in your career and so on and so forth. So that's one of the things that resonated from me, as well as getting a protege. I'm going to go to the comment section because Mitch said, even through all the foolishness, Ralph is one of mine. He's more like an evil stepbrother, though.
That's hilarious.
Man, that's hilarious.
That's real.
I'm
But
thinking about when he said that, I'm thinking about the movie Step Brothers, and they're just side by side.
yo, that's one of my all-time faves, man.
Yeah.
The Catalina wine mixer, man. That's one of my all-time faves. But
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. For me, I would say probably about the same. If there was one that I was missing, and was like, oh, yo, I probably could have used that for sure. Like, there's no probably about it. But I've always been one to try and get the information from someone who I knew had it. So for me, I never really broke it down into like different names for it. Like, hey, this is my money advisor, or this is my local role model, or, but I always just said, I always like to put it in, I just have mentors for specific things. Like, I'm a firm believer that nobody knows everything to the top capacity, but there are people who are proficient in specific spaces, and I just always love to glean off of that. So, I've had the 80-year-old man that just knew just a great deal of knowledge that's where I got my early knowledge from, and then somehow I came across books, and realized that, oh wait, this guy like a John Maxwell, this guy is 70 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm basically getting 70 years worth of knowledge in 4, 5, 7 hours.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm collapsing time frames. So that's, I really got on my book game. So I got a crazy book collection, like, but it's just one of those things that I actually read, by the way. But it's one of those things that just made sense to me. Like, yo, if you're great at what you do and you wrote a book about it, I'm able to get 50 years, 60 years of your info in a few hours. When it came
Yeah.
to the money, it's people who still to this day, though, those advisors and stuff like that hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm like, cool. Send me a video of you refreshing your investment account. I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk to nobody about investments and investing if your account is not larger than mine.
Mm.
Not saying that I'm anybody, but like I
Yeah.
would prefer you to know more than I know, if you about options or trading or whatever the case may be. So, it's just one of those things. But if you do, I'm all ears. I don't care who you are, because
Mm.
you might know something I don't know. I grew up in not the best neighborhood with not a lot of information, right? So
Yeah.
I really, I don't care who you are. If you have the information, I'm down to hear it, down to listen, and down to learn, because it's something that I can then pass down to my kids. I have a few notebooks that are filled up that, it's just different things that I've learned throughout the years, right? Like, every, everything from really crazy, like just ideas, to
Mm-hmm.
when to catch an airplane, like the best times, all that kind of stuff, that
Wow.
stuff that I just learned along the way that I didn't know, that people, that I didn't know growing up. So, I'm definitely a firm believer in having these people in your life, and different versions. I might have the younger one that's in the game, but then I might have the old head that got that's in the same lane, but they just more years. They seen something that this younger one didn't see. So I
Yeah.
love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, man. And so I would encourage everybody, men, women, and child, to definitely. I mean, when I mean child, I'm talking about teenage years for sure, even younger. Actually, there's some people that have young, but they have mentors already. To just
For sure.
uh, look back at this list, back to this recording, and kind of break it down and say, hey, man, what role do I need to be more intentional about having? What role maybe not be on this list that I'm like, hey, I want this in my life, but that's definitely the point, is you want to be able to get that. And so we're wrapping up the show right now, but we're not going to conclude without doing our favorite segment among all segments, the brown box special. And I got a quick story for here that I'm going to share real quickly, that I got credit to Kiora for this story. But basically talking about layoffs, there's a big layoff that was expected. So I found another position, which I accepted. I got a tip that I shouldn't give 2 weeks notice, so I didn't. Got laid off on a Friday with relatively generous benefits. Started my new job on Monday, where they matched my previous salary and rolled in the annual 10% bonus. Since when I
Hey,
was interviewing, neither they nor I knew for sure that the layoff was coming. So he didn't know the layoff was coming. It was just
this
rumor.
is true.
The new place was a small group, a dozen people in a larger company trying to do the startup innovation thing. All good people, but the future was not clear. I enjoyed my time there and I learned a lot. However, when after about 3 months, I got a call from a different group in my old company asking me to come back. I thought about the benefits of working in a large company with great benefits, and I went back. They matched my salary again and rolled in the annual 10% bonus that I would have got again. I started back in my old company just about 4 months after being laid off, which was just long enough that I didn't have to pay back any of the layoff package. Best part was meeting my old manager. It wasn't his fault I was laid off. It was just a last in, first out, and telling him he couldn't get rid of me that easily. So
That's
this
lit.
person banked that was a layoff story that basically he
He
banked
won.
in. He won.
He was
But but
Google.
but look at that. Let me go back to something that I thought was very important in the story. He said, I got a tip that I shouldn't give my 2 weeks notice. So he basically heard the rumor, and then he had somebody that advised him. I don't know who it was. It was a coworker,
Yeah.
whatever. Hey, just hold off. You don't know for sure. Don't give you 2 weeks yet. Let's just kind of play this by it. And then he was able to capitalize, because if he did give us 2 weeks, he would have missed out on all of that for
That's
sure.
a
They
fact.
may not even called him back. Who knows? You never know. They've been like,
That
"Nah, we're
too.
good. We we good."
He found somewhere else.
Yeah, he found somewhere else.
No, I love that, man. That's a good story, man. That's something that you just keep in the back of your mind just in case. You never know.
Yeah, good. You try, and that's where again go back to the advisory board. Having a career coach could be like, "Hey, listen, I've seen this before. You want to do X, Y, and Z," and so I think that kind of adds to what's going on there. But yeah, with that being said, I know we're over the hour mark. Thank you so much for rocking with us for sure on the show. We definitely appreciate it as always. And till next time, family. Till next time. If you want, again, go ahead and subscribe to the show. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts as we are always considering it, and share with other people. Share with this with other people. Let them know that we are here in the building having a good time on Monday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central. And what else to say? We are Talk That Tech, the
#1 tech morning show in the world. We'll see y'all in the next one.
Peace and keep using that elbow grease.